Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Fimi Beatrice, and if you like what you see here, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the IELTS exam, how I was able to study by myself for the exam and I passed it on my first try, tips and tricks that you can use, and also where you can get free resources. Before we start the video, I just want to drop a disclaimer that I am in no way an expert or a guru on IELTS. I'm just talking mainly from my experience and I just want to share it with you guys, and if it will help you pass your own exam. I'm going to be telling you what I got when I wrote my own exam. So, in speaking, I got 8.0. In listening, I got 8.0. In reading, I got 7.5, and in writing, I got 6.5, and I got an overall score of 7.5. As you can see, writing was my lowest score, and I'm so grateful because 6.5 was just on the dot for what I needed to migrate to the UK as a nurse. Now, let's go to the tips. So if you see me looking down, that's because I have a script here that I'm trying to follow. So just know if I'm looking down, I'm looking at the script. So now that I've told you my score, I'm going to be dropping some tips and tricks on how you can pass your own exam. So the first thing I'm going to be saying is that you have to get into the right mindset. A lot of people think that IELTS is a very hard exam and they can't pass it. And if that's your mindset, you most likely won't pass the exam. So try to get into the right mindset. And if you're a religious person, pray and meditate or do whatever works for you. And by God's grace, you pass the exam. So, after you get the right mindset, the next thing is to know which exam exactly do you need to write. So most likely, if you're migrating as a student or as a health professional, or you're migrating for work, you need to write the IELTS academic. Meanwhile, if you are migrating for other purposes, you might need to write the IELTS general. So know which exam you have to write. Don't go and write the IELTS academic when you needed to write the IELTS general, because then you'd have wasted effort and you'd have also wasted money. So know the exam you need to write for the purpose you need it for. Also, you need to know what kind of test you want to write. We have the computer-based test and we have the writing test. So for the computer-based test, you're going to be doing everything apart from the speaking on the computer. And for the writing, you're going to be writing everything apart from the speaking with either a pen or a pencil. So know which one you are good at. If you're not so good with the computer or a system, it's better to go for the writing test. That way you can, be fast with your exam. But if you feel you're competent enough with the computer to write the test, then why not go for the computer-based test? Next, know what the exam is about. So the IELTS consists of 4 major parts. We have the reading, the writing, the speaking, and the listening. So this is where, for me, the Barron's IELTS 5th edition came into place. This was the first resource I mainly used, and it just gave me like an introduction of what IELTS is about, what each component of IELTS is about. So for the purpose of this exam, I'm going to go just briefly over all the 4 components and tell you exactly, what they consist of. So the first is the speaking. So the IELTS speaking is just a face-to-face, interaction with an examiner, and it consists of 3 parts and it lasts between 11 to 14 minutes. So mostly you have an examiner asking you questions and you have to answer the questions, and whatever you're saying or your interaction with the examiner will be recorded. Then we have the IELTS listening, and this is a 30-minute audio recording with about 40 questions, and most likely this part will be the same thing for the IELTS general and the IELTS academic. Same for speaking also. It's the same exam for the IELTS general and the IELTS academic. Then we have the reading part, and this is just, where they give you passages and you read them and answer questions on those passages. You'll be given 3 passages. Most likely the first passage will be easy, second passage will be intermediate, and the third passage will be the hardest. And this would last for about an hour. The IELTS reading is different for the academic and the general. And lastly, we have the writing, where you'll be given 2 tasks. So the task 1, mainly you'll be given like a graph or a chart or a pie chart or something like that, and you'll be asked to write a report on the diagram that you've been given. And the task 2 consists of an essay, where you'll be given a topic and you'll be asked an essay on it. And this part consists is for about 60 minutes or 1 hour. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, if you're writing the general IELTS, for task 1, you'll be writing a letter, and for task 2, you'll be writing a formal essay. So now the next tip that we're going to go to is determine how much time you need to write or prepare for your IELTS, and then book the dates for your IELTS. So let's assume you think to yourself that, I need 6 months to prepare for this exam, or 2 months or 1 month. In my case, I think I said I would need 2 months to prepare for this exam. So when you think, I need 2 months to prepare for this exam, book your exam in 2 months or 3 months ahead. The thing about booking your exam is that when you book your exam, it makes you feel like, I have spent a good amount of money in booking for this exam. I don't have any cost to fail. But if you're like, I'm going to book my exam when I feel ready, you actually might never feel fully ready enough to write the exam. But when you book it, you feel that readiness and that urgency to prepare. It's just like when we were in school, or maybe, when we're in school, throughout the semester, most likely you'll be playing and things like that. But when it's time for exam, if exam is like 2 weeks away, everyone gets into that exam mood and start preparing. So try to book your exam and start preparing towards that goal. Next is to practice as much as you can. And wherever you're getting your practice materials from, make sure that they're endorsed by the IDP, the British Council, or Cambridge. Why I'm saying you should get materials that are endorsed by these people is because regular people like you and I just come up with questions and tag them IELTS questions, and if this happens to be the questions that you've been practicing with, you'll just be getting band 9 when you're practicing, and when you get to the exam hall, you are going to meet a totally different set of questions there, and you waste money and waste time, and you get a very bad result, and you will need to resit the IELTS again. So make sure that wherever you're getting your materials from is from very reliable source. Next, learn to familiarize yourself with the IELTS marking criteria. So if you're watching, I think I'll leave it either here or there, and you can see the criteria you can use to mark yourself when you are practicing. And also learn to practice within the IELTS set standard time frame. What I mean by that is, for example, reading is for 1 hour. After a while, when you've gotten good with your practice, learn to keep your practice within the time frame of 1 hour. You could set a timer or an alarm within 1 hour, and when 1 hour is over, you stop whatever you're doing. That way, you won't be shocked when you get to the exam or that, oh my god, 1 hour, it was too short, I didn't finish, or something like that. Another thing is, for speaking, when you are practicing, practice and record yourself on your phone or any recording device that you have. Learn to listen to yourself where you are making errors, where you are saying things like or where you're having long pauses. Record yourself and listen to yourself over and over again before you begin to get good. Also, if you have a friend that you feel has the time to listen to you or that is very good with English, you can practice with your friend. Let your friend act as the examiner, and that way you are able to build your confidence before you actually have the exam with an examiner on your D-Day. For writing, I think when it comes to preparing for yourself, writing is the hard part, and that's because most likely if you are preparing by yourself, you really don't have anyone to help you mark your writing essays, except maybe you pay for online services or you pay for classes. If you're preparing for yourself, you only have yourself, or maybe if you have some English guru beside you that can help mark your own script by yourself. So tips for writing is that familiarize yourself with a lot of vocabularies. So if you have a graph or chart, you don't want to keep using the word increase or decrease. You want to find synonyms for increase and decrease to use in your passages. And also familiarize yourself with all the types of possible essays that can come out. So in task 1, you want to familiarize yourself with charts, with the bar graph, with the pie charts, with the processes, with every kind. And in type 2, you want to familiarize yourself with all the different types of essays that can come out, whether it's advantages or disadvantages, or opinions, or problem and solutions, or discussions, or 2-part questions and things like that. You also want to make your your handwriting clear and legible, because if the examiner cannot see what you're writing, most likely you might get a fail or a low mark. Also, you want to know what are the target words I have to meet in my writing. So for the task 1, you have to write at least 150 words in your task 1. And your task 2, you have to write at least 250 words in your task 2. So you have to, meet the target words. One thing you can do is that you can print out the paper sheets for the IELTS writing task and use it to practice as you go. That way, you know, oh, how many pages do I need to meet 150 words? And how many pages do I need to meet 250 words? Examination day, you can estimate, I think I should have reached 150 words at 1 page or 2 pages, or I need to ask for extra sheets or things like that. I'm going to be talking about the resources I used. So for me, I was lucky at the time when I wrote my IELTS. My cousin had just written an IELTS, so she just gave me like all the materials that she used. So a very useful book that she gave me happens to be the Barron's IELTS textbook, the 5th edition. I don't know if there are like more editions after that. So what this book did for me was that it introduced me to exactly what IELTS was all about. It also comes with a CD which you can plug into your system and listen to it for the audio recordings and the listening practice tests. So this textbook was very good, but I feel like it's not enough for you to practice for IELTS. So after I used the Barron's IELTS textbook, what I went ahead to do was I used the IELTS Liz website and YouTube channel and the IELTS Advantage website and YouTube channel. These websites are very useful. Okay guys, we are just going to open IELTS Advantage on the web browser, and then we're going to go to their resources. When you click on that, you can see how they've broken down IELTS on their website, the preparation guide, writing task 1, the vocabulary and things like that. If you go to how to prepare for IELTS, how to understand the test format, perfect your IELTS skills, I want you to read every aspect of this website, including their links to their YouTube channel. Very, very useful, resourceful. And see IELTS writing task in simple steps, and how to understand writing task 1, the charts, how to paraphrase, things like that. Every single thing you need to know about IELTS. Same for task 2. Go through every part, the reading, the speaking, the vocabularies, the listening, the tips. And if you come here, how to prepare for IELTS, you can see they've broken it down for both general training and academic training, the how to set realistic goals and things like that. This website was actually very useful to me, and I would like you to also use it. And if you come over to this corner here, if you feel you need more training, you can pay for their VIP course. I don't actually know how much this VIP course costs, but you would have to pay a fee that I'm certain and sure of. And that is it about IELTS Advantage. And also, we are just going to open IELTS Liz on the web browser here. We're going to go to our main website, ieltsliz.com. And if you click on that, you can see her website. She's broken down everything, also listening, reading, writing, vocabulary, topics, on the day tips, top results. And this is how to use our website. This is what is the IELTS test all about, how to prepare for IELTS and things like that, and listening, reading, vocabulary, writing task 1 and everything like that. And you see she's just broken down everything. If you look at on the day tips, listening tips, writing tips, sleep and eat well, clothes, drink, arrive early and things like that. And if you come here, if you want to pay for extra courses, she has a 50% discount currently on our website ending November 11th. That's if you want something extra than the free resources that she's provided. And that's it about IELTS. Another resource you can use, and this one is very good for speaking, is the intensive IELTS speaking, the new Oriental Education and Technology group. This textbook has almost every topic you can think of, with questions and answers on speaking. This textbook was actually very useful for me because I was able to go through most of the questions. And even if the question you get in your IELTS speaking originally doesn't come out from the textbook, you have an idea of how to, answer those questions without any fear. And other resources that you can also use are the Global Exam, the IELTS Simon, the IELTS Exam.net, IELTS Tutorials, IELTS Mentor, IELTS Body, Road to IELTS, IELTS Up, E2 Language, JIELTS, And for practice tests, where you can get them from, IELTSonlinetest.com. You can also join as many Telegram group chats and WhatsApp group chats and social media group chats as you can that give free IELTS resources. And if you are lucky, you can get your hands on the Cambridge English IELTS modules that have past questions, a lot of past questions that you can practice with. So I hope this is very useful to you. One thing to mention is you might not write your exams on the same day. In my own case, I had my speaking first on a separate day, and the next Saturday I had my listening and writing and reading. And I wish you the very best in writing your IELTS exam. I hope the resources are really good for you. And if you like this video, please don't forget to click on the like channel and also the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.